Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the new series. Today we are going to discuss Adolf Hitler. We all know him as a dictator of Germany who led Germany through wars, especially Second World War. So without any further delay, let us know about Adolf Hitler. We are discussing it because yesterday was the birth anniversary of Adolf Hitler, April 20th, 1889. He was born on this day in this year in Brno in Austria, and he died on April 30th, 1945 in Berlin, Germany. We'll discuss his death as well. He was the leader of the Nazi Party from 1920-21, Chancellor and Führer of Germany. Führer is the highest authority according to Nazism or Hitler itself. Himself. For a time, he bore his mother's name, that was Kickel Gruber. But by 1876, he had established his family's claim to the surname Hitler. Adolf never used any other surname. He was not a very big fan of his father, but he was a very devoted son to his mother. Moving ahead, now early life comprises of his childhood. His childhood was generally spent in Linz, which was the capital of Upper Austria. With a mixed record as a student, he never advanced beyond a secondary education. He wanted to become an artist. After leaving school, he visited Vienna, then returned to Linz. He was in love with Linz. He had a wish to be buried over there, where he dreamed of becoming an artist. Hitler already showed traits that characterized his later life. How did a boy who wanted to become an artist turn into the most dreaded person on the earth? Hitler was very lonely. His lifestyle was very here and there. It was kind of, we can call him that he was not very stable financially. He just, tried to live by the day and earned enough to do that. So his later life was, of course, shrouded with mystery. Why did Hitler become Hitler? Because his earlier life had loneliness and secretiveness, a bohemian mode of everyday existence, and also hatred of cosmopolitan and of multinational characteristic of Vienna. In 1930, he moved to Munich. He was screened for Australian military service in February 1914, but he was classified as unfit because of inadequate physical vigor. But when World War I broke out, he petitioned to the Bavarian King Louis III to be allowed to serve. And he was notified to do that. He would be permitted to join the 16th Bavarian Reserve Infantry Regiment. And after some 8 weeks of training, he was deployed in October 1914 to Belgium, and he participated in the First Battle of Ypres. Also, during the war, he was continuously in the front line as the headquarters runner. His bravery in action was rewarded by the Iron Cross Second Class in December 1914 and the Iron Cross First Class in August 1918. He greeted the war with enthusiasm. Why? Because his early life was lonely. He had no discipline. He lived by the day. He was bohemian. He did not like cosmopolitanism. So these all are characteristics of something that you are lacking passion in life. With war, he identified passion. With war, he identified discipline. So he started liking the war. He greeted the war with enthusiasm as a great relief from the frustration and aimlessness of the civilian life. Also, he found discipline and comradeship satisfying and was confirmed in his belief that in the heroic virtues of war. Hitler took upon the political work in Munich in May-June 1919 after World War ended, after the end of the First World War. As an army political agent, he joined the small German Workers' Party in Munich, September 1919. In 1920, he was put in charge of the party's propaganda and left the army to devote himself to improving his position within the party, and that happened, which in that year was renamed as the National Socialist Deutsche Arbeiter Party. Sorry, I do not have a very good hold on German. So this was the party that promoted Nazism. His ideas included inequality among races. Today we are talking about equality, but he believed that the German race purely is an Aryan race and it is superior to every other race. Nations and individuals as a part of unchangeable natural order. He thought that he was a traditionalist, a conservationist. He was not someone who was very progressive. He exalted the Aryan race as the creative element of mankind. According to him, the natural unit of mankind was the Volk, that is the people, of which the German people was the greatest. Moreover, he believed that the state existed to serve the Volk, which is the mission that to him the Weimar German Republic betrayed. He argued that the unity of the people would find its incarnation in the Führer, who is endowed with perfect authority. That is, of course, Führer is, of course, in his eyes, was himself. Below the Führer, the party was drawn from the Volk and was in turn the safeguard. Now, what are the basic principles of Nazism? Let's talk about that. Basic principles include authoritarian, action-oriented, charismatic leader, state more important than the individual. Second is political nationalist in nature, racist in nature, considering one's race superior to others. One party rule should be there and there should be a supreme leader. In social stance, supported by middle class, industrialist and military as well. From the cultural perspective, censorship, indoctrination, propagandism and secret policing. Cultural, censorship, indoctrination and secret policing again. This is economic, private property control by the state corporation of states, such as in the countries of erstwhile earlier Italy, Spain and Germany. Moving ahead. Now, once in power, Hitler established an absolute dictatorship. He secured the president's assent for new elections. Nazi polled 43.9% of the vote. After that, the enabling bill came, which gave full powers to Hitler and was passed in the Reichstag by the combined votes of Nazi, nationalist and Central Party disputes. Okay, less than 3 months later, all the non-Nazi party organization, everything was swooped away. Moving on. Now, according to the outcomes of the World War I, Germany was humbled, and that was not sitting well with the general populace of Germany. So, because of the Treaty of Versailles, which was highly humiliating for Germany, it is a contributing factor to the World War II. The worldwide economic depression also had a lot of unrest. There was a failure of appeasement, the rise of militarism in Germany and Japan, and the failure of the League of Nations. Moving on. Now, as we can see, it was a power struggle between the Axis powers and the Allies. Axis powers included Italy, Germany, and here Hitler's Nazi party believed in all-powerful state territorial expansion and ethnic purity. It invaded Poland in 1939, and after that only the Second World War began. France in 1940 and the USSR in 1941. Okay, and Japan, Italy, Japan and Germany were on one side against the Allies, United States, Great Britain and France. Moving ahead. Now, there was also, of course, we all know the outcome of the war. Again, Germany was humbled and there was a decline of Hitler's power. Despite officers and anti-Nazi civilians became ready to remove Hitler and negotiate peace, several attempts on Hitler's life were also there. But thereafter, Hitler was increasingly ill, but he did not relax or lose control. After January 1945, he never left the chancellery in Berlin or its bunker. He became he was overcome with extreme nervous exhaustion, and he at last accepted the inevitability of defeat and thereupon prepared to take his own life. He wasn't happy. Once war was over, Germany was defeated, he took the responsibility for it and he wasn't having it. So on April 30th, he said farewell to his Goebbels and the few other remaining, and then retired to his suite and then shot himself. And his wife, Eva Braun, it is suggested that he also married her. She took poison, and according with their instructions, their bodies were burned. So there are many controversy or conspiracy theories that are revolving around the death of Hitler. Many say that he escaped, he never actually died because the bodies were burned, so it wasn't possible to ensure that it was Hitler and his wife. But this is what it is, what has been given to us. So I hope you understood the basic facets with respect to Adolf Hitler. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.